So yeah, that able to change off and that is normally now as you can see I've got to do remove them 10 so anyway, let's get it set. Come with me today for a little bit of bank holiday shenanigans on this fine Saturday morning. We've got a BMW F30 31 from 2012 to 2019 and it has got quite a significant knock on the driver's side front wheel. Now if you're having the problem with your car, this little box of goodies is going to save you a lot of money. Now to carry out this procedure there is two ways you can do it. You can do it from at the top or you can do it from underneath. Now when the cars are getting a tiny little bit older, you've got to remember when you're removing plastic stuff does break, and especially on these 2 litre diesels there's a breather pipe that comes from the rocker cover down to the intake, and it's like a little corrugated pipe, and I'll show you now, which is that one there, and if you are not careful that will snap. And the last thing we want on a bank holiday Saturday is that pipe snapping. So we're going to go from the safe precaution this time and do it from underneath. Now I'm going to show you now how to diagnose this fault. And if you grab your wheel at 2:45, so side by side, give it a little bit of a shake and you will hear that knocking. Now I don't know whether you can you hear it? Just put it underneath there a minute. That is quite bad. Now the only downside of doing these from underneath is that absolutely billions and gazillions of screws that BMW have put on just to hold a little bit of plastic up. I'm going to get all these 8mm out now and get this under tray off. Now after we've removed all them million gazillions of screws and we've got the belly pan off, we've now got access to the steering rack. Now the part that we need to remove is that little piece there. Now what you need to remove it almost looks like a lock and wheel nut, which is a special tool. We need to remove that cap. Before we remove it, we're going to get our trusty old wooden wire brush. I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean and rooney and get all that crap off it. Once everything's nice and clean, you can fit the tool, get a 24mm spanner, and it's just simple as wind it out. Once that cap is removed, there's a little spring that you need to take out, which is that one there. Then get yourself a pair of pointy nose pliers. Sometimes they come out first time, sometimes, yeah, there we go. And that bush will just pull out. And there we go, that is the failed component. Now with a little bit of magic, that thrust bush now is out of the steering rack, and I'll just put, if I can just put my camera up there, try and show you. In the rack, you start playing there, but what that thrust bush does, that keeps the steering rack nice and tight in there. Now if we have a look at the original one compared to the new one, they have modified them. See the little plastic bits here, the guide, that one hasn't got it and this one has. Right, let's get it in. Now before we put this new bush in, what we're going to be doing is putting a little bit of lithium based grease in it, and that should just slot in. You might have to just give it a wiggle. Can I do it one hand? No, I can't do it one handed. It is a bit of a pain. Now once that bush in, you can put a little spring in. There's a different colour. The original one's green, the new one is blue. We're just going to plonk that in there. Keep it, I'll tell you what, hang on. Just to keep it in place, we will plonk a little bit of grease on the bottom of it. Now once that blue spring is in, we can get a cap now. Make sure you're putting it the right way, it'll only go one way anyway. Or you can tighten it up. And then when you're tightening these up, I've done no end of these. And what I do is put that cap flush with the steering rack. It should be perfect. Now once we've tightened that cap up, now what we're going to do is drop, like, you can, if you go too far with them, the steering is going to be too tight, and if you go not enough, the steering wheel is going to be slack and it's going to be knocking again. So what we're going to do is drop the car down on the floor and turn the steering wheel left to right and make sure everything's working as it should. Now with the car running, what we want to do is jump in with your finger, turn the steering wheel left to right, hold it on the lock. Now if the steering wheel springs back like that, that is perfect. If it stays there, it is obviously too tight. Centralise it back up again. Now before we send the vehicle back up in the air, we're going to go straight back at 2:45, give it a shake side to side, and that knocking has now gone. Put it underneath there. Absolutely perfect. Right, let's send it back up in the air and put all the trays on and finish off with that little cap. Now these end caps, they have got a little rubber grommet in them. That one there. Now what I've done, put a little bit of red rubber grease on it. Now these are quite tricky to put in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it one-handed. Nothing's going my way today. Yeah, there we go. We are in. Beautiful. Now that's finished, what we're going to do, get yourself a little marker pen, and we're going to put a little yellow line, just like that. Right, let's get all these belly pans back on. And with a little bit of magic, now that car is all finished off, what we're going to be doing is taking it down the... You've got a bloody sneeze coming, never mind. We've got... I forgot what I was saying then. I'm going to take it down the road now for a little bit of a test drive, make sure that everything is working as it should do. Now, what you're probably going to notice is when the customer has it back or you do it yourself with your own car, the steering will feel slightly different, obviously, because it's a lot tighter. So you just bear that in mind. Now, once we've taken it for a test drive, we're going to get it on the 4-poster and we're going to be checking the geometry on it. Not that we've adjusted anything, but it is just as a precaution. So yeah, that is my Saturday shenanigans on a bank holiday. Hope you all have an awesome weekend and a nice couple of days off. Anyway, let's get it sent. See you Tuesday.